An essential part of the fuel injection system found in practically all contemporary automobiles is a fuel injector. The fuel injector takes over the job of supplying fuel to the vehicle's engine, and a malfunctioning fuel injector can typically result in numerous issues. This guide will examine the malfunctioning fuel injector's symptoms and their cleaning procedures. The cost of replacing a fuel injector will also be covered at the end of the video. It's the Car Problems YouTube channel. Subscribe, and let's get started. Check engine light. The blinking check engine light on your dashboard is one of the most noticeable signs. An electrical signal alerts the driver if one of the fuel injectors is clogged or dirty and not effectively supplying fuel to the engine. Please be aware that a number of other factors can also cause the check engine light to illuminate. Therefore, it is advised that you have your vehicle scanned for error codes at a garage. Use an OBD2 code reader to check your fault code memory if your check engine light flashes. You can read the fault code memory at home, and they are not very expensive. Misfiring engine. If the fuel injector is unclean, clogged, or does not open correctly, the engine will misfire. A misfiring engine will cause power loss, hinder acceleration, and decrease fuel efficiency. This needs to be fixed right away because it could also cause your engine to start knocking, which could seriously harm it. Increased fuel consumption. A bad injector will cause your fuel efficiency to either rise or fall if you keep a close eye on your fuel usage. A malfunctioning injector lowers the vehicle's fuel consumption by supplying the engine with either too much or too little fuel. A faulty fuel injector could be the cause of your altered fuel consumption. Engine vibrates. The engine will begin to vibrate as soon as a full cycle is finished if it is not getting enough fuel. A clogged or dirty fuel injector can have hazardous consequences and cause a detonation that can harm turbocharged engines. The engine vibrates when it is in turbocharge mode at higher RPM because it needs a lot of fuel, which the fuel injector may not be able to supply. Fuel leak. A malfunctioning fuel injector could be the cause of a fuel leak in the engine bay. Because they are frequently composed of plastic, fuel injectors are susceptible to cracking, which results in an external leak. You should replace it right away if you see a fuel leak in your engine bay. If not, it could result in an engine fire. Bad fuel odor. In the event that the fuel injector leaks or fails to close correctly, this symptom appears. A bad odor produced by excess fuel is detectable while driving. It could be an external leak in the engine bay or a leak into the exhaust pipe, both of which are deadly because they can cause your car to catch fire. Rough engine idling or stalling. A malfunctioning fuel injector could be the cause of your engine stalling at low RPM or experiencing rough idle. The engine may misfire and stall if the fuel injector is spraying too much or too little fuel, resulting in a lean or rich mixture. Failed emission test. Your car will probably fail the emission test if the fuel injector's spray pattern has changed and it is putting too much or too little fuel into the engine. This is due to the fact that either too much or too little fuel will be sufficient to raise emissions and prevent the catalytic converter from performing its function as intended. Fuel injector cleaning. Sometimes the problem with your fuel injector is simply dirt buildup. A malfunctioning fuel filter may be the cause of this, allowing dirt to enter the fuel injector. In this instance, the fuel injector frequently has a tiny filter inside that you can change. Another situation is that the fuel injector, particularly if you have been driving on ethanol, needs some lubrication because it has been left unattended for some time. In order to prevent varying amounts of fuel spray after the cleaning, it is best to clean all injectors at once if you want to try it. You can have your fuel injectors cleaned by certain specialized workshops. However, since the issue usually recurs within a year following a fuel injector cleaning, I advise replacing the fuel injector instead. Replacement cost. The typical cost to replace a fuel injector ranges from $100 to $500, depending on the model of the vehicle and labor expenses. The typical price range for a fuel injector is $50 to $300. Typically, labor costs range from $50 to $200. Depending on whether you have a gas or diesel engine, the cost of the fuel injector can vary significantly. Diesel injectors are frequently very costly. A single part may cost $400 or more. Even though it can be challenging on certain gas engines, replacing diesel injectors is frequently more complicated than replacing gas injectors. Hope the information was helpful for you. If so, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel.